Final notice to Lara Croft, a current tenant of premises. This is to serve as your final notice for the purposes of terminating your ownership of Croft Manor. You are required to immediately vacate and surrender possession of said manor to Atlas de Mornay, executor of estates.
Lara, it is unfortunate that you have forced my hand in this matter, but so be it. As you know, your parents appointed me executor of the estate in the event of their absence. Since your mother disappeared, her death was never technically declared. And given the circumstances surrounding your father's death, it's no surprise that he never drafted a formal last will and testament to account for this circumstance. Unfortunately, you have no legal claims to the estate. I'm willing to negotiate a modest monthly stipend from your trust, but only if you leave the manor by week's end. Don't fight me on this, Lara. Your mother wouldn't want that. Sincerely, Atlas.
There has to be a will or some kind of evidence of what happened to Mum in the manor somewhere. Dad's safe. Needs a combination. It's got to be in Dad's papers somewhere. Maybe in the library. Dad's map of the forgotten cities of northern Syria. He was closer than he knew to finding the Prophet's tomb. Dad's book about immortality myths might be useful in my research.
I finally introduced Richard to the family. It went precisely how I imagined. I see.
It must have been hard for Mum to go against her family's wishes. I'm glad she did. One of Dad's Yoruba masks, a gift from a friend he met on an expedition in Nigeria. This is probably my grandfather Benjamin. A picture with Dad and Anna. Never liked wearing dresses, but the color was nice. Dad would have liked me to go to Oxford, but I insisted on UCL. Yep, looks real. Roth once offered to forge me a fake diploma to show Dad.
Well, this is a hell of a thing. I met someone tonight quite
My parents made a good team, challenging each other from the start. My birthday crown. I was so proud of that thing. That's my handwriting. My penmanship was pretty good. Need a combination for this lock. The door to the library.
Hi, Dad. I've been thinking about...
Lara, I've reviewed the report from your therapist. I have to say I was surprised to see a...
Hello there, Sir Lancelot. Don't worry, I won't be boring your sword this time. The Grand Hall. Always loved playing in here as a kid. This will be one of the first things to fix. A phoenix figurine. I bet this appealed to Dad's idea of immortality, of rising from the ashes and being born anew. This belongs to Anna. Most of her belongings are in the guest house. What was she doing in here? Someone has a sense of humor.
Lara, you know the West Wing is off limits.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to see...
We've been through this.
Was Mum's room in here?
Just stay out of there, darling.
Dad was always so protective of the West Wing. Another one of Dad's immortality artifacts. I think Roth bought this for him from a...
Lara, since your return from your expedition to Yamatai, I've grown increasingly alarmed at your erratic behavior. I can only assume you suffered some kind of psychological trauma and are only acting out as a call for help. I want you to know that I hear you, loud and clear. Anna and I agree that it's time for you to be evaluated.
Got to remember to pack this for my next trip. Should be able to explore the dark now. Hey, Jonah. Sorry for not getting...
What are you doing sitting there on the floor, Mistress Lara?
Looking at the compass, thinking.
What about, if I may inquire?
Just thinking about discovering faraway places, about finding adventure.
I'm sure you will, my lady. You've the soul of an explorer. But don't grow up too fast.
The offer came in the post last week.
Not sure. I really need to brush up on my ancestors. Locked. Need a key to open this. Dad's artifacts from the Nile Valley. I always loved looking at these. Dad became interested in immortality myths after his expeditions to Egypt. This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad. It shows a path to the library through the servants' passages. Locked. There's got to be another way through.
Amelia, the news has reached Mother. She knows that you broke off your engagement with the Earl of Farringdon. She is beside herself with worry. But, for the moment, she's controlling the narrative. As far
Falling apart. Maybe I should just let my uncle have this place.
They say a good test of a relationship.
I'm not surprised he asked her to marry him as soon as he got the idea.
Amelia, I know we...
Still just as creepy as I remember.
My lord.
Poor Winston. I remember being so angry. He was always so patient with me.
King to Queen 1. I'm going to win this time, Winston.
Clever girl. But you should know by now, winning isn't everything. Queen to King's Bishop 6. Check.
Easy for you to say. You always win. Knight takes Queen.
What I mean to say is try to enjoy the journey, Lara. Don't rush to victory. Bishop to King 7.
I know, Winston. I just want... Oh no! I didn't even see that!
You should also know by now, I'm not to be trifled with on this board, young lady. Mate.
Oh, I am going to win. Someday.
I would play chess with our old butler Winston on this board. Never could beat him. I always chose white. Maybe if I let him go first once in a while, I might have won.
I'm at a cross.
Everything is almost Lara's birthday prize. It's been a bit of an all...
Dad loved a good bottle of wine. I can still smell his favorite Bordeaux.
Dad, this is it! The basement of despair!
Indeed, Lara. Muster your courage, for this is the only path to the Library of Infinite Knowledge.
Look there! See the string?
An ancient Egyptian tripwire. The Keepers of Knowledge want none to disturb their treasures. We must tread carefully.
Let me lead. I know how to spot all the traps.
I'm sure you do, my darling. Lead on.
My stuffed bear. I couldn't have a tomb without a mummy. Water damage from the main hall above. One of the wire traps Winston made for my birthday expedition. Winston used my hair ribbons to make this. He and Dad put a lot of work into this birthday surprise. This bust of Anubis was from Dad's Egyptian collection. He must have put it... Plans for adding electricity to the manor. Dad used to say his granny hated all the bright lights. There's a missing page.
Amelia left.
Okay, Dad's ledger has to be in here somewhere. Hopefully it has the combination to the safe.
I've created...
One of Winston's notes. He always hid sweets for me to find. I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and a number. I always preferred these symbols to the actual number hieroglyphs.
Now, let me see. These two myths are referencing the same source material. But where did I see this image?
Dad, I think it's this one, in the chapter on Egyptian districts.
Why, yes, I think you're right, Lara.
I remember the page with the illustration of Ra.
My goodness, you've been paying attention, haven't you? This could be an important breakthrough.
Does this mean I'm your research assistant?
That and more, my darling girl.
Takes me back. Those were good times. the best times. This was always one of my favorite books in this library. I used to trace hieroglyphs.
I've reached...
Dad was looking for an elixir. Was it the elixir of life?
For God's sake.
Okay, got to find those objects to figure out the combination to the safe. Dad's lighter. I don't remember him ever using it, though. The Croft family crest and initials PC. I wonder if this belonged to my grandfather. Okay, should be able to light the fireplace now. This is my handiwork. I used to love drawing pictures of tigers. Spent so many hours in here, reading, dreaming of my own adventures. This music is familiar. It's beautiful. It appears Sir Reginald's helmet fell off. Or didn't I put it back properly? Took quite a tumble off of this old thing when I was a girl. Still feel it in the shoulder from time to time. Blank, except for the image of a key. I remember this map now. It leads to the master key, but we made it with a special kind of invisible ink. It could only be seen with the heat of a fire. This picture was taken in the library. (1820) additions to the main hall in progress. I think I stashed one of Winston's master keys in here when I was a kid. This should help me read the map. I can see the map. Looks like the key is hidden under a trunk near the bookcase. X marks the spot, as they say. All right. This should open most rooms in the manor, including the Forbidden West Wing. The Pharaoh's crown from my birthday treasure hunt. How old was I again? 6? 8? I think this hieroglyph corresponds to a number, but which one?
For God's sake, memorize the combination, you fool. Lara's expedition treasure, my favorite painting by Amelia, the day of our wedding anniversary.
The Pharaoh's crown from... I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and a number. I always preferred these symbols to the actual number hieroglyphs. The Pharaoh's crown from my birthday treasure hunt. How old was I again? 6? 8? I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and a number. I always preferred these symbols to the actual number hieroglyphs. Okay, Dad's clues mention Mum's paintings and their anniversary. Hopefully I can find some answers in the West Wing. The Croft family crest.
Mistress Lara.
This is strangely beautiful. Okay, Laura, keep it together. You're starting to see things. Mum's atelier. Dad sealed it soon after she died. He probably couldn't bear the idea of removing any of her belongings.
My lord.
Untouched for years, exactly as she left it.
I stood up to my family's criticism.
I don't have any memory of this. I wish I could remember doing this. Mum died too young. Mum with me as a baby. I've never seen this. Hard to believe I was ever that small. Mum's paintings. Which one was Dad's favorite?
I returned home.
Blocks of red. Dad's favorite painting. Maybe something about that painting will help me figure out the combination.
You've almost got it, darling. Here, let me show you. Like this, see? Well done, Lara. Well done.
I wonder how my life would have been different had she lived. I'm glad I still have so much of Mum's work.